The day the Varkesh arrived was like any other, with the usual hum of morning activity slowly bringing the city to life. Skyscrapers basked in the early light, streets buzzed with the relentless energy of commuters, and cafes spilled over with the chatter of daily grievances and plans. It was a typical scene, one replicated in countless variations across the globe, from the sprawling urban expanse of New York to the bustling markets of Delhi. Without warning, the sky darkened as though storm clouds had gathered in an instant. People halted mid-step, looking up in confusion. Phones were raised in unison, capturing the first images of what would soon dominate global news. A fleet of colossal ships, sleek and metallic, hovering ominously above the Earth's atmosphere. The alien presence was undeniable, their ships unlike any human engineering could conceive, shaped with geometries that seemed to warp the light around them. Initial panic gave way to a tense calm as governments worldwide urged their citizens to remain calm. Emergency broadcasts filled the airwaves, a stark contrast to the usual morning programs. Military jets scrambled to the skies, a futile but instinctive gesture against the unknown visitors. Meanwhile, astronomers and linguists worked frantically to intercept and decode any signals emanating from the ships, hoping for some clue as to the intentions of their unexpected guests. The Varkesh, as they would later identify themselves, maintained a silence that was as perplexing as it was unsettling. Their ships made no advance beyond their geostationary orbits, yet their presence was a palpable pressure felt by everyone beneath their colossal shadows. It wasn't until 24 hours after their arrival that the first communication was intercepted, not directed at any government or organization, but broadcast indiscriminately in a format that quickly allowed AI translation models to decipher its contents. The message was simple and chilling, a curt dismissal of human civilization as primitive and unworthy of their interest except as a subject of environmental study. They spoke of Earth not as a thriving home of life, but as a case study in the end stages of ecological self-destruction. The Varkesh explained their intention to scan Earth's atmosphere, assessing the damage wrought by centuries of industrial advancement. They concluded their message with a stark warning: interference would not be tolerated. As fear mingled with offense at their condescension, the world reacted with a mix of defiance and existential dread. Social media erupted with campaigns of solidarity and resistance. Protests demanded action from leaders who themselves grappled with the appropriate response. The Varkesh, observing from their ships, seemed indifferent to the turmoil below, their scanners already deploying beams of light that touched down on Earth, examining its atmosphere, oceans, and land with an indifferent precision. In those first days, humanity stood at a crossroads, watched by beings who saw them as nothing more than inhabitants of a dying world. Yet in this crucible of crisis, the seeds of unity were sown, as nations realized that the threat from above necessitated a response from below, a response that would require every ounce of human ingenuity, resilience, and perhaps most importantly, the indomitable human spirit that thrived in the face of adversity. The Varkesh's initial scans of Earth's atmosphere yielded data that was as alarming to them as their presence was to humanity. Through the thick layers of environmental satellites and scanning drones that encircled their massive ships, they meticulously analyzed the chemical composition of Earth's air, focusing on the pollutants and signs of ecological degradation. Their technology, far more advanced than anything Earth had developed, allowed them to detect even the subtlest markers of biological and industrial activity that had altered the planet's atmosphere over centuries. Their findings were compiled into comprehensive reports, evidencing high levels of carbon dioxide, methane, and a slew of other greenhouse gases. Pockets of radiation, remnants of nuclear mishaps, and dense smog over industrial centers painted a grim picture of a civilization that, in their view, was on the brink of self-annihilation. This conclusion reinforced the Varkesh's initial assumption about the frailty and primitiveness of human societies. They saw Earth's inhabitants as short-sighted, too consumed by their immediate needs to safeguard their future. The results of the scans were broadcast across the Varkesh fleet, with commanders and scientists alike scoffing at the primitive state of human technology and its apparent consequences. They debated their next steps, considering Earth as little more than a living laboratory from which to learn how not to manage a planet. Their discussions were devoid of any regard for the billions of lives at stake. Instead, Earth was a case study, a cautionary tale in their cosmic compendium. Meanwhile, on Earth, the human response was a mix of fear and fascination. News outlets continuously aired updated reports on the alien technology and their ongoing environmental scans. Scientists and environmentalists, long aware of the deteriorating state of the planet, seized the moment to push for drastic changes. They argued that the Varkesh's interest in Earth's poor environmental state should be a wake-up call to humanity. This spurred a renewed interest in sustainable technology and ecological conservation efforts, propelling governments to consider more aggressive environmental policies. Simultaneously, military strategists and political leaders analyzed the Varkesh communications and actions, trying to predict their next move. The global consensus leaned towards caution, promoting diplomatic efforts to engage the Varkesh in dialogue. Special committees were formed, combining the brightest minds in linguistics, diplomacy, and xenology, tasked with establishing a line of communication with the alien visitors. They crafted messages that highlighted Earth's diversity, resilience, and the efforts being made to rectify their environmental failings, hoping to pique the Varkesh's interest in a more positive light. As Earth scrambled to present itself as a planet of capable and evolving beings, the Varkesh continued their scans, seemingly uninterested in diplomatic overtures. Their dismissive stance was clear. They saw no equals on Earth, only subjects for observation. But as they would soon discover, their underestimation of human ingenuity and adaptability might have been their gravest miscalculation. As the Varkesh continued their detached observation, the mood on Earth shifted from reactive fear to a proactive stance. Nations that were once at odds over resources and ideologies found a new common enemy in the indifferent alien observers. What had initially seemed like an existential threat now galvanized humanity into unprecedented unity. The United Nations convened emergency sessions, and for the first time in history, there was unanimous agreement on a global strategy, not just for defense, but for showcasing human potential and resilience. The newly formed Earth Defense Coalition, EDC, included members from every major nation and several private sector leaders in technology and defense. This coalition began strategizing ways to defend against possible hostile actions, while also planning demonstrations of Earth's technological achievements and cultural richness, hoping to change the Varkesh's dismissive view. In parallel, the global scientific community rallied to gain a better understanding of the alien technology. Every observation of the Varkesh ships was meticulously analyzed, with scientists and engineers reverse engineering what they could from the distant glimpses of Varkesh technology. Despite the technological gap, human ingenuity was in full swing, leading to rapid advancements in material science, propulsion technology, and energy efficiency, spurred on by the sudden need to close the gap with their visitors. Meanwhile, special ops and intelligence agencies worldwide began a covert operation to study the alien crafts more closely. Stealth drones, the pinnacle of Earth surveillance technology, were dispatched to approach the Varkesh fleet under the cover of space debris. These drones collected invaluable data about the alien shields, propulsion, and possibly even their communication methods. Back on the ground, the Varkesh's dismissive attitude had sparked a different kind of mobilization among the general populace. Media outlets, social platforms, and public forums buzzed with a mix of outrage and pride. "Earth is not a dying world" became a rallying cry, featured in broadcasts, viral videos, and demonstrations. This collective movement not only unified disparate groups, but also ignited a renewed passion for environmental stewardship and innovation, challenging the narrative the aliens had imposed. Environmental groups capitalized on this newfound unity, launching initiatives that had been stuck in bureaucratic limbo for years. Large-scale cleanup drives, renewable energy projects, and conservation programs received unprecedented public support and funding. The threat of being labeled a failed civilization became the catalyst needed for a green revolution on Earth. As Earth's leaders prepared their presentations and defenses, they also broadcast messages into space, showcasing their cultural diversity, technological advancements, and efforts to restore their environment. These broadcasts were not just meant for the Varkesh, but as a statement to the universe that humanity was far from weak or primitive. Despite these efforts, the Varkesh remained aloof, continuing their scans and sending back data to their homeworld. However, among the younger members of their crew, there was a growing curiosity about these tenacious beings on Earth, who seemed to defy the grim prognosis the Varkesh had so confidently given. This curiosity began to spark debates among the Varkesh, debates that could potentially lead to a shift in their interactions with humanity. The Varkesh's continued disregard for human outreach and their persistence in scanning Earth only fueled human determination to prove their strength and sophistication. Across the globe, nations pooled their resources and knowledge, embarking on a rapid development spree that not only focused on defensive capabilities, but also on environmental recovery. The threat posed by the aliens had inadvertently catalyzed a technological and ecological revolution on Earth. In response to the Varkesh's advanced scanning technology, which had initially demoralized Earth's leaders by revealing the extent of environmental damage, humans began to leverage their own ingenuity to turn the tables. Secretly, several countries had started projects aimed at adapting alien technology into their own systems, using insights gleaned from the stealth drone missions. These projects were shrouded in secrecy, as humanity wasn't just aiming to defend itself, but also to surprise the aliens with their rapid advancements. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, often in underground facilities to avoid detection by Varkesh sensors. They developed a series of high-altitude balloons equipped with new experimental technology that could potentially disrupt the alien scans. These devices were designed to emit complex electromagnetic signals and particles that mimicked severe atmospheric anomalies. The idea was to create a technological mirage that would exaggerate Earth's capability to manipulate and control their environment on a large scale. Furthermore, military strategists had devised a plan to use these signals as a form of psychological warfare, suggesting to the Varkesh that Earth possessed advanced defensive systems they had not yet considered. Simultaneously, these high-altitude devices would serve a dual purpose by actively cleaning pollutants from the atmosphere, converting them into harmless compounds, showcasing not only Earth's military ingenuity, but also their commitment to environmental restoration. As these balloons were deployed globally, the skies began to clear at an unprecedented rate, with visible improvements in air quality and a reduction in extreme weather events. This rapid environmental recovery was broadcast worldwide, bolstering public morale and demonstrating to the Varkesh that humanity was capable of rapid and effective solutions to problems they had observed. On the cultural front, Earth's governments organized a global event dubbed Terra Firma Day, which was broadcast into space. This event showcased the richness of Earth's cultures, technological prowess, and ecological commitments through music, art, and demonstrations of technological innovations. It was a defiant display of unity and capability, intended not only for human eyes but as a clear message to the Varkesh that Earth was not a planet of weaklings but a vibrant, resilient civilization. Meanwhile, the Varkesh, observing all these rapid changes from orbit, began to reassess their initial perceptions. The younger crew members, already curious about the tenacious nature of humans, grew increasingly fascinated by these developments. Discussions among the Varkesh shifted slowly from dismissive to a begrudging respect, as they witnessed the humans not only addressing the environmental issues they had scorned but also uniting with a previously unseen level of cooperation and innovation. This shift in perception was subtle, but marked the beginning of a significant change in the Varkesh's approach to Earth, stirring debates among their ranks about the potential of humans not just as subjects of study, but as equals deserving of respect and possibly even partnership. As Earth's defensive and environmental efforts became increasingly effective, the balance of power subtly began to shift. The high-altitude balloons had a dual effect. They significantly reduced pollution levels while simultaneously causing confusion among the Varkesh fleet. Their scanners, which had never encountered such technological feints, struggled to differentiate between real environmental recovery and the electromagnetic distortions created by the balloons. This uncertainty began to erode the Varkesh's confidence in their superior technological stance. On the military front, human forces were mobilizing in an unprecedented fashion. The Earth Defense Coalition, EDC, had successfully integrated alien-inspired technology into their arsenals, producing weapons and defense systems that were previously beyond human capabilities. New energy shields, based on the partial reverse engineering of Varkesh technology, were tested in secret locations. These shields could deflect the advanced energy weapons used by the Varkesh, providing a new layer of defense that Earth had sorely lacked. Meanwhile, the EDC also developed a series of space drones capable of close-range combat with Varkesh vessels. These drones were equipped with stealth technology that rendered them nearly invisible to the alien sensors, allowing them to approach and gather intelligence, or if necessary, engage directly with the alien ships. These preparations were carried out with a sense of urgency, as Earth's leaders were aware that the Varkesh might soon adjust to the new tactics being employed against them. In a dramatic demonstration of Earth's new capabilities, the EDC orchestrated a simulated defense exercise, which was broadcast live to the Varkesh fleet. The simulation showcased the effectiveness of the new shields and the agility of the combat drones. This display was intended to serve as a deterrent, a clear message to the Varkesh that any aggressive actions would meet with formidable resistance. Simultaneously, on the civilian front, the rapid environmental improvements had sparked a global cultural renaissance. People around the world were inspired by the clear skies and rejuvenated landscapes, leading to a surge in artistic expressions, from music and visual arts to literature, all celebrating Earth's resilience and newfound unity. This cultural boom was not only a testament to human spirit, but also served as a psychological boost, reinforcing the belief that humanity could not only survive but thrive in the face of alien adversity. As these developments unfolded, the Varkesh commanders found themselves in a quandary. The continued resistance and advancing capabilities of the humans were contrary to any other species they had previously encountered, who had either quickly surrendered or been overwhelmed by the Varkesh's superior technology. The young Varkesh officers, in particular, began to advocate for a reassessment of their approach to Earth, arguing that there was much to learn from human determination and adaptability. This internal conflict within the Varkesh ranks grew as reports of Earth's progress continued to pour in. Some of the older, more traditional commanders clung to their initial disdain for humanity, but a growing faction pushed for a more diplomatic engagement, suggesting that the humans had proven themselves worthy of at least a dialogue, if not respect. Caught between their traditional views and the undeniable evidence of Earth's rapid evolution, the Varkesh leadership began to consider opening communications with Earth's governments. This marked a significant shift in their mission strategy, driven by both the surprising resilience of humans and the persuasive arguments of their own younger officers, who were increasingly influenced by the vibrant and defiant spirit of humanity. The decisive moment arrived when Earth's strategic displays of military readiness and rapid environmental recovery tipped the scales within the Varkesh command. As Earth continued to emit signs of vibrant life and defiance, the more progressive elements within the Varkesh fleet began to gain the upper hand in strategic discussions. The younger Varkesh officers, who had been quietly accumulating evidence of human ingenuity and resilience, presented a compelling case to their superiors. They argued that Earth's civilization, rather than being a fading echo of potential, was a blossoming testament to adaptability and resourcefulness. In response to this shifting perspective, the Varkesh High Command convened a special session, marking a pivotal moment in their mission. After heated debates, they agreed to initiate a cautious and limited communication with Earth's leaders. This decision was communicated via a direct transmission to the United Nations, where an emergency session was called to formulate a response. The message from the Varkesh expressed a willingness to engage in dialogue and acknowledged Earth's unexpected capabilities and resolve. On Earth, the receipt of this message was met with a mix of skepticism and cautious optimism. The United Nations formed a special diplomatic corps, including linguists, diplomats, scientists, and military advisors, tasked with handling communications with the Varkesh. The diplomatic corps worked tirelessly to draft a response that balanced Earth's newfound confidence with the need for peaceful coexistence. The first official communication from Earth to the Varkesh was a landmark event, broadcast live around the globe. In it, Earth's representatives outlined their desire for mutual respect, peace, and the possibility of exchanging knowledge and technologies. They emphasized Earth's commitment to maintaining its sovereignty and the protections of its inhabitants, showcasing the resolve to defend themselves if necessary, but extending an olive branch for peace. As the dialogue between Earth and the Varkesh developed, initial distrust gave way to a tentative exchange of cultural and technological ideas. The Varkesh were particularly intrigued by Earth's rapid environmental advancements, which contrasted starkly with their initial scans. In return, they shared insights into their environmental technologies, which could help Earth accelerate its recovery process. Simultaneously, special envoys and cultural ambassadors from Earth prepared to visit the Varkesh fleet. These missions were designed to foster a better understanding between the two civilizations. Exhibits of Earth's art, music, and literature were included in these missions, aiming to showcase the depth and richness of human culture. Likewise, Varkesh scientists and scholars were invited to Earth to witness firsthand the planet's recovery and diversity. Military tensions slowly eased as both sides engaged in joint exercises and shared defensive strategies. The Earth Defense Coalition, EDC, played a critical role in these exchanges, demonstrating Earth's defensive capabilities while learning from the advanced tactical approaches of the Varkesh. This period of cooperation led to a broader understanding and respect between Earth and the Varkesh. What began as a precarious and uncertain interaction gradually transformed into a partnership that promised to enrich both civilizations. The resilience and ingenuity of Earth had not only averted a potential catastrophe, but it also opened the door to a new chapter in interstellar diplomacy and collaboration. The climactic confrontation came unexpectedly, not from within the fragile peace between Earth and the Varkesh, but as a challenge to it from a faction within the Varkesh themselves. A radical group, staunch traditionalists who opposed any form of fraternization with humans, launched a surprise attack on Earth, targeting the very symbols of the burgeoning cooperation. They struck at the joint military exercises and at the cultural exchange venues where Varkesh scholars were visiting Earth. As sirens wailed and the skies again darkened with the shadow of hostile Varkesh ships, the world braced for what seemed like an inevitable retraction into conflict. However, the main body of the Varkesh fleet, now led by those who had advocated for peace and cooperation, did not support the attack. Instead, they moved quickly to aid Earth's defense forces, communicating their intent to stand against the rogue faction. Earth's defenses, augmented by Varkesh technology and strategic insights, responded with rapid precision. The EDC, alongside Varkesh allies, deployed a combination of advanced aerial drones and newly developed energy shields to intercept the attackers. Ground forces, consisting of mixed human and Varkesh units, mobilized to protect critical infrastructure and populations. The battle was fierce but localized, thanks to the swift response and the intelligence shared between Earth and the loyalist Varkesh forces. During the chaos, an unprecedented act of unity occurred. Varkesh commanders fought shoulder to shoulder with human leaders, both in space and on the ground. This solidarity was broadcast across both civilizations, showcasing not only the joint military effort, but also a profound moment of cross-species camaraderie. The rogue attackers, finding themselves outnumbered and morally isolated, began to falter. In the aftermath of the thwarted attack, the main Varkesh fleet took a definitive stance against the radicals, arresting their leaders and dismantling their support structures. This internal cleansing marked a significant turning point for the Varkesh, symbolizing a formal rejection of their past prejudices against humans. With the immediate threat neutralized, Earth and the Varkesh renewed their commitment to deepen their alliance. Reconstruction efforts began almost immediately, with Varkesh technology playing a crucial role in rebuilding the damaged sites. These efforts were not just about physical rebuilding, but also about healing and strengthening the communal bonds that had been tested by the attack. The final act of reconciliation and unity came when Earth hosted a global celebration of peace, attended by representatives from the Varkesh fleet and various Earth nations. This event featured cultural displays, speeches, and commitments to a shared future. Earth's leaders and Varkesh emissaries signed a series of treaties that formalized their alliance, including agreements on shared defense protocols, technological exchanges, and environmental cooperation. This celebration was not just a diplomatic formality but a vibrant festival of life and unity, with performances, art exhibitions, and public forums where humans and Varkesh could interact, share stories, and plan for the future. The legacy of what had started as a hostile first encounter had transformed into a testament to the potential for understanding and collaboration across cosmic divides. As the festivities concluded, the leaders of both species stood together looking up at the stars. They spoke of a future where Earth and the Varkesh could explore the galaxy side by side, not just as allies but as equals and friends. The once dismissed humans had not only defended their home, but had also won respect and partnership from those who had once seen them as weak. This newfound respect was not born out of fear or dominance, but from mutual admiration and the shared triumph over adversity. The newfound peace and alliance between Earth and the Varkesh led to a period of unprecedented prosperity and technological advancement. The collaboration that had begun in the realm of military defense and environmental recovery expanded into many other areas of mutual interest, including space exploration, energy development, and biotechnology. An immediate priority was the establishment of a joint Earth-Varkesh Scientific Cooperative, EVSC, housed in a newly constructed orbital facility that served as both a symbol and a practical center of the burgeoning partnership. Here, scientists from both species worked side by side, sharing knowledge and resources to tackle some of the most pressing challenges facing both civilizations. One of the first projects undertaken by the EVSC was the Terraforming Exchange Program, which aimed to apply Varkesh terraforming technologies to restore Earth's most damaged ecosystems, while also adapting Earth's techniques of ecological management to rehabilitate Varkesh mining colonies that had exhausted their natural resources. This program not only facilitated environmental rejuvenation, but also served as a training ground for a new generation of both human and Varkesh environmental engineers. Meanwhile, the cultural exchanges that had begun with tentative visits blossomed into rich, ongoing dialogues and collaborations. Universities and research institutions across Earth opened their doors to Varkesh scholars, and vice versa. This cross-pollination of ideas led to a boom in the arts and sciences, with new disciplines emerging at the intersection of human creativity and Varkesh technology. On the societal front, new policies were implemented to ensure that the benefits of this interstellar alliance were felt by all layers of society. Economic initiatives focused on technology sharing and joint ventures that created jobs and wealth on Earth, as well as on Varkesh ships and colonies. These initiatives helped to alleviate the economic disparities that had long plagued various regions of Earth, promoting a more balanced and equitable global society. With the stabilization of Earth's ecosystems and the flourishing of its industries, humanity began to look outward. The final chapter of the Earth-Varkesh collaboration was the launch of the United Galactic Exploration Initiative, UGEI, a combined fleet of exploratory vessels staffed by crews from both Earth and the Varkesh Empire. These ships were tasked with charting the unexplored regions of the galaxy, seeking new worlds, and encountering other civilizations with the hope of expanding the alliance into a more extensive interstellar federation. As these ships ventured into the unknown, the people of Earth and the Varkesh watched with bated breath, proud of the leaps they had made from wary adversaries to allies and explorers of the cosmos together. The legacy of their partnership was not just the technologies or the policies they had created, but the bridge they had built between two very different species, united by a common vision for the future. This era of exploration and shared destiny marked a new chapter in the annals of both Earth and the Varkesh, as they set forth into the galaxy not as conquerors, but as ambassadors of peace and cooperation. The once dismissed humans, together with their former adversaries, now stood as a testament to the transformative power of understanding and collaboration, ready to face whatever challenges the stars might hold, side by side. As the United Galactic Exploration Initiative, UGEI, expanded into the cosmos, the collaborative efforts between Earth and the Varkesh reached new frontiers, both literally and metaphorically. The partnership, once a desperate measure against a common enemy, had blossomed into a robust interstellar alliance that was now poised to lead the charge in galactic diplomacy and exploration. The initial voyages of the UGEI were marked by significant discoveries. Their ships, equipped with the latest in combined Earth-Varkesh technology, encountered several habitable planets and numerous lesser-developed civilizations. These meetings provided not only opportunities for expansion, but also moral and ethical challenges, testing the alliance's commitment to being ambassadors of peace. One such encounter involved the Mediating, a technologically nascent species on the brink of developing interstellar travel. Their first meeting with the UGEI fleet was tense. However, the protocols established by Earth and the Varkesh for peaceful contact guided the interactions, leading to a successful diplomatic exchange. This encounter set the stage for what would become the Interstellar Council, a collective of spacefaring civilizations dedicated to fostering peaceful relations and mutual development across the galaxy. Back on Earth and the Varkesh homeworld, news of these peaceful expansions was met with widespread approval and was seen as a validation of the Alliance's objectives. Schools taught the history of Earth's transformation from a divided planet to a key player on the galactic stage, emphasizing the themes of unity and cooperation. Varkesh and human families gathered around broadcasts showing the celebrations and formal welcome ceremonies of new species into the Interstellar Council. The economic and technological boom continued, fueled by the influx of new resources and knowledge exchanges facilitated through the Council. Innovations in energy production, environmental restoration, and space travel were just a few areas that saw significant advancements. A joint Earth-Varkesh University was established on a neutral planet, focusing on interstellar studies and serving as a melting pot for the brightest minds from all over the Council's member species. Meanwhile, the cultural exchange that had proved so vital to the bonding of Earth and the Varkesh evolved into a galactic cultural festival known as the Unity Games. Held biennially on different planets, the Games were a celebration of diverse life forms, featuring athletic competitions, artistic performances, and scientific exhibitions. These events were not just entertainment but a powerful reminder of the shared values and aspirations that bound the various species together. However, as with all great endeavors, the path was not without its pitfalls. The expansion of the Interstellar Council brought with it the challenge of integrating vastly different cultures and managing the competing interests of its members. Disputes arose, particularly over resource allocation and territorial rights, testing the diplomatic resolve and legal frameworks established by the Council. The leadership of Earth and the Varkesh, seasoned by their own past conflicts and resolutions, often played crucial roles in mediating these disputes, drawing on their history of overcoming adversity through unity. As these challenges were met with patience and diplomacy, the Council strengthened, becoming a beacon of cooperation in a galaxy where conflict was all too common. The lessons learned from Earth's alliance with the Varkesh inform new policies and practices, emphasizing sustainability, respect for autonomy, and the benefits of cooperation. In this new era of galactic exploration and diplomacy, Earth and the Varkesh stood not only as founding members of a growing interstellar federation, but as enduring partners, demonstrating that the legacy of their once uncertain alliance could guide the future of interstellar relations. This partnership, built on the ruins of conflict and nurtured through mutual respect and shared goals, had become the cornerstone of a new galactic order, promising peace and prosperity for the future. The culmination of Earth and the Varkesh's journey from wary adversaries to co-leaders of the Interstellar Council came with the establishment of the Galactic Peace Summit, a monumental event that was to be hosted alternately on Earth and the Varkesh homeworld. The summit was designed not only to resolve conflicts and discuss developments, but also to forge a path for the future of the galaxy under the guiding principles of the Council. As preparations for the inaugural summit commenced, both Earth and Varkesh representatives worked tirelessly to ensure that the event would reflect the spirit of cooperation and peace that they had championed. The venue, a massive orbital platform jointly constructed by human and Varkesh engineers, was a marvel of technology and design, symbolizing the architectural and cultural synthesis that had come to define the alliance. The opening ceremony of the Galactic Peace Summit was a spectacle of unity and diversity, attended by dignitaries and citizens from across the galaxy. The event kicked off with a parade of species, each delegation showcasing their unique cultures through music, attire, and flags. This display was not just ceremonial but a powerful representation of each civilization's pride and commitment to the shared goal of peace. The main agenda of the summit included panels and workshops focusing on sustainable development, security, technological exchange, and cultural understanding. Breakout sessions provided opportunities for smaller groups to discuss specific issues, from trade agreements to environmental strategies, ensuring that all voices were heard and integrated into the broader Council directives. One of the key outcomes of the summit was the signing of the Galactic Concord, a comprehensive treaty that established guidelines for conflict resolution, resource sharing, and technological cooperation among the member species. This document, crafted over months of negotiations and discussions, was a testament to the diplomatic and legal progress that had been achieved through collective effort. However, the summit was not just about formal agreements. A significant portion of the event was dedicated to public engagement, including a forum where citizens from various worlds could interact with their leaders and voice their concerns directly. This forum was widely praised for its inclusivity and transparency, setting a standard for future interactions within the Council. As the summit drew to a closing ceremony mirrored the opening's celebratory tone, but with a forward-looking focus. Leaders from Earth and the Varkesh spoke about the journey their civilizations had embarked upon, from the brink of conflict to the forefront of galactic diplomacy. They highlighted the importance of resilience and adaptability, qualities that had allowed them to overcome initial misconceptions and build a lasting partnership. Looking to the future, the summit set the stage for an annual series of such meetings, with rotating host planets, ensuring that the collaborative spirit of the Council was maintained and that all member species felt equally involved in the decision-making processes. Additionally, a resolution was passed to establish a galactic cultural heritage site, where artifacts and histories from all civilizations could be preserved and studied, fostering a deeper understanding of the galaxy's diverse inhabitants. As delegates departed from the summit, there was a sense of accomplishment and optimism. The successful conclusion of this landmark event was broadcast across the galaxy, serving as a beacon of hope and a reminder of what could be achieved when disparate beings chose to focus on their commonalities rather than their differences. Thus, Earth and the Varkesh, once mere planets on a collision course, had not only transformed their relationship, but had also helped sculpt a new galactic landscape, promising a future where peace and cooperation were not just ideals, but tangible realities. This legacy, born from the trials of past conflicts and nurtured through mutual respect and shared aspirations, was now the blueprint for the interstellar community, guiding the galaxy towards a more harmonious existence.